Hello and welcome back to our playthrough of Junkyard Builder. We are currently working towards $2,000 so that we can unlock our next bit of machinery, which is the plastic baler. And so at the moment I'm just going to get any materials that I can use for that production into a pile next to the machine, which I'd already started doing. So we've used quite a lot of wood from around the yard, and luckily periodically, which it looks like we just had another delivery with some good stuff in there, is that every 30 minutes we'll get a nice shiny new delivery. So with some of the materials like this one, the storage rack, we can't actually restore this, so it's just a case of a straight up sale. So we'll pop that into the metal dumpster. So in terms of layout, we've got our delivery gate here, and we've got our truck where we can pay dollars to go and collect different recyclables or trash or junk or whatever terminology you would like to use. And so we already had an Arpus roof, so I'm becoming a bit more familiar with the different types. So I know that that's a wheel for a Trophy. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So at the moment I am filling up my cart with the various components of the cabinets because we're trying to get things into a little bit of order. So if we head down the yard with our cart, we can get 10 items in there because we unlock that upgrade. And currently that's the only upgrade that I spent money on, to try and kind of go through the progression for the sake of videos. So we've got our pile of cars over here. There's 4 different types at the moment. There's various types of cabinets, which is why we've got different piles here. So we pop that down on the floor. That's a Redmere. I don't know that we've got a Redmere. Yes, we do. And so just to make life easier, so I can keep track of... I always pressed the wrong button there. I can keep track of... There's another Redmere, nice. What we have to be able to upcycle. So the reason that I'm dropping it on the floor first is so I can see what it actually, which cabinet it relates to. And then I'll find the associated pile, because the Branlow, that's different. Blue pine is what we want. Move that over there. And then I believe we had some medium dresser components actually. This isn't lifting out for some reason. There we go. So I do believe that this pile here is the medium dresser. So I think we got a left drawer, right drawer, left drawer. I think, is that a right drawer? So we could probably construct that one. So let's just empty the rest of what's in here, and then we could do that so we can make our dollars. Now I think I'd put the small cabinet. I thought I'd made a pile for that. Is that the small cabinet? That's a Branlow. That's a dresser. Okay, maybe we didn't have a pile of... let's see what these are. Blue pine. So we'll make the small cabinet pile over there. Okay, this is a Velmora. So we'll get in there actually. We got 2, what looks like Velmora base. So we've got a small drawer. I think there might be different sizes of the Velmora as well. Okay. We have here Eldorian. As you can see, my memory is not the best here. Eldorian, medium dresser, small. I thought we had a small cabinet somewhere. So we want that's blue pine, Branlow. There's quite a range actually, as you can see, of different cabinets. We'll start a pile for that one there. Looks quite ornate. That's a big wardrobe door, which I'm pretty sure we don't have a big wardrobe at the moment, so let's pop that over there. Here's another new one. Okay, you can go there. And last but not least, a rosewick dresser base. Now, if that's got all, we're just missing a drawer by the looks of it, which looks like it could be that one. Okay. So then, it looks like we can restore 2 cabinets. We have reached our 2000. Let's just do this quickly. So, first and foremost, what we need to do is give these items a clean. A connected object cannot be renewed. So then, if we have not seen this before, so we can take the component parts out then. So let's get the other drawer as well. Let's get all the bits that we need into the workshop. So there we go. Top tip that I didn't know until I just shared it is if your scrap has got connected bits to it, you will need to dismantle them first before you can restore them. Pop that in there. And we can give it a clean. With the cleaning brush, and as you can see, that's fairly forgiving. Doesn't need to be perfect. Paint pistol, we'll just keep the yellow colour for now, but you can change the colour with the colour wheel there. Look at that spray, nice bright yellow cabinet. Who doesn't want that in the house? And there we go. And then we can pick this up. Put that down over here onto the next one, because we're gonna have to prep all the parts first, and then the construction area, we pop that in and put it back together. So there's a couple of different ways that you could play the game. You could do all your restoration stuff and have those parts ready just to install. I could have done a different colour drawer actually, couldn't I? I'll do the next one a different colour. Now, if you are wanting to mix colours, unfortunately, that isn't an option on the same piece. So I found that out in that I did a car and thought, oh, I might do that two-tone. And then when I changed the colour, the percentage of completeness completely reset. So I can't do that, unfortunately. So let's get this done. Bit of restoration. So we've done a bit of yard management, a bit of restoration, and then we should be able to unlock our, I'll make that one a bit different, green. We should be able to unlock our next piece of machinery. So actually quite a nicely balanced little play session, I think. Bit of everything. Okay. I'm going to guess this is going to be for a children's room. These garish colours. Okay, bit of a clean. So you can see the progression bar there at the bottom that tells us what percentage we've done. And thankfully it is, as I say, fairly forgiving. played other games such as Power Wash Simulator, where you could literally spend half an hour looking for the spot that you missed. Right, let's change this colour up to a nice bright pink. Wonderful. There we go. Being a bit too eager with the cursor here, I think. Must be almost there. There we go. And so it is time to put this back together. I think we'll have the green one in the middle, although once you get near to it, it just says insert, so let's put it at the bottom, but never mind, it doesn't have any impact on the price. So what you can see in the bottom is that the object value has increased. So that's a nice little return. That's $345 for putting a bit of time and effort into the cabinet. So to pick, does that insert? Another top tip is if you have got something you want to move, is approach it from the back. So we need to put that into our storage and then into our market, and we can sell that for $145. Once we're on our laptop, let's unlock our next piece of machinery, which is the plastic baler. And there we are. We can then go and place that in our yard. So in terms of progression, just a quick update is we've unlocked all of the containers, and to give you an idea of kind of timescales, they were unlocked fairly quickly into the playthrough, probably within the first half an hour or so. The tools were unlocked probably within an hour, same for the infrastructure. So we don't have the delivery point and the gate from the outset. They do need to be purchased, and that is where the delivery point is where we get those half-hourly deliveries, and the gate is so that we can leave the yard and go to other areas. Other areas will have different costs, and so you take a van that has a starting capacity of 10 items. So the best approach there, I found, is to thoroughly search around those environments first and prioritise the higher value items. Vehicles, the scrap cart that we saw, and we upgraded that, doubled the capacity from 5 to 10, and then these start to ramp up in price. Excuse me. So the most expensive and final item that we can see on there currently is the car crusher, a whopping $15,000. We've got a way to go there. Alright, let's go get our new bit of kit into the yard. So they're all delivered very neatly packed into these boxes. And once we click build, we'll get an idea for the footprint that we need, and we'll know if we've left enough space. Look at that, that is perfect. So I'd already started to... That needs to sit a bit more forward, does it? So we can move it afterwards. Oh, plastic baler. Put the required amount of plastic into the machine to receive a plastic bale. Oh, it does go way back actually. It didn't look aligned at first. So the way these operate is that there'll be a required amount of the source materials, and so what I would recommend is use the bits that are worth the least amount of money. So I'll explain a little bit further there is, for example, with the wood, sorry, let's start with the paper one. A paper box is only $7. There was some crumpled paper around the yard, which I did get rid of actually. But let's have a look. A paper cup is $3. So it's worth less than the other items there, but it still counts as one piece of paper. So if we pop that on to our baler, see if we can find some others. I'll have a quick look around the yard. Don't think we have, because we did a bit of a tidy up job. So we got a newspaper worth $4. Is that cash there? Can't believe I missed that. That's actually cash. $100 as well. Okay. So we'll pick these bits of paper up. I should have brought the cart over, but it's only really to demonstrate this. Pop that in, and that's still going to recognise it as one piece of paper, whereas I could have ended up putting $7 worth of cardboard in there. Once we put the required amount in, so each of the machines requires 3 items, then you can see there it's going to go through a 4-minute cycle and give us a lovely bale out the back here, which is then worth $60. So let's take this over. I don't actually know whether we could pop that into the recycle dumpsters in order to get the money, but what I'm going to do for now is put that into the warehouse. So that's the way we sell our products, is we put them into the warehouse. Again, that's got a capacity of 10, which is upgradable, and once it's in storage we can then sell it via the laptop here on the market option and sell that for $60. So our next aim then is to open up our next piece of machinery, which is going to set us back 2,500. So we've got a bit of work to do there. So what we'll do is let's get some, so we already had this wonderful pile of plastic ready. Let's set this going. So at the moment I haven't actually bought any materials, because on the marketplace there you can actually buy them, but I've managed to play through let's say 2-3 hours of playtime and just use the stuff on the yard and what's being delivered daily. So I've not had to spend my precious dollars on anything other than those upgrades that we're looking for. So the gas heater, unfortunately, it can't be recycled. So there are some items that you can't, upcycled or restored is probably a better description. What I do is I do check it, because if it can be, then we'd be able to pop it in the area like so, and we can't. So it didn't scrap actually. When I put it into the dumpster, it didn't scrap at all. So you do have to put it into storage and then sell it, which I'll do straight away actually, just so that we can keep that empty, so we know exactly how many dollars we have. And the reason that there's also a buy option is that we could, let's have a look if they're in here, is limited actually, so I suppose this changes. So at the moment we can't just go and buy the missing bits for our vehicles to finish those off, unfortunately. So we established that we probably didn't have all of the components for that bit, unfortunately. We've probably got enough there to make up a medium dresser, and I've not really fully explored this part of the yard yet. It looks like it's mostly metal, but we've got a couple of different dresser elements there which we can pop into our pile. We've got some metal over here, don't know what that's for. And we've got a large dumpster lid which we can sell for $60, and I've been keeping the metal containers, the barrels and whatnot, ready for when we unlock our next piece of machinery. That should just about do it for this playthrough. So it is a bit of a cycle of kind of yard management of, let's get that out there because that'll be worth some money. Yeah, of yard management, bit of production there of getting your different materials into the balers so you get more money for your materials, and the restoration bit's a nice little mechanic as well. So what I'll do in a future video is I'll also show you leaving the site to go to another one and collect the materials from there, because it's a bit potluck what we're going to get delivered on a daily basis. It's not guaranteed what's in those different areas, but it's worth having a look, because we also have in the yard these containers which we need. That's 6,000, 3,000. So there's items in there, potentially valuable items that we could pay for and hopefully unlock. And I would hope it's worth more than the $3,000 that we pay, because that does feel a bit pricey. So to recap, we reached our next target, unlock the plastic baler, which we've set off. And we'll wait the whole 8 seconds there so you can see a lovely plastic bale emerge from the back of the machine. We've started to get our different materials into piles. How much is the plastic baler worth? 75. Okay. So I think what I'll do, in terms of where we place stuff around the yard, well, actually, let's just finish the video off by seeing whether we could just pop this into... I don't think we had a plastic container, did we? I could be wrong. If we put that in there, rather than sell it... Yeah, okay. That makes life easier. So what we can do is, rather than having to put it into the warehouse and all that kind of stuff, I think what I'll probably do is move my machines around a little so that on one side there are the materials and on the other is the relevant dumpster, so that I can quickly sell them and not have them kind of stacked up in the yard. The reason that I'd put them there earlier in the playthrough is because I thought actually it would make sense to, when I go and collect the different materials or when they're delivered, is just for ease is to pop them into the dumpsters, but I think it makes more sense to keep hold of them so that we can use the different balers and maximize our money. So we'll just do the first one very quickly, just so I can't, because we need to move these bits. So as you can see, there are collision mechanics in play. We'll get rid of this bit of metal over there, and we'll just move this over to make a little bit more space, I think. That should do it. We've only got one solitary piece of wood at the moment. We can remedy that, I'm sure. Did we have... We didn't have wood. Plastic, metal and paper. So I don't need to put a dumpster next to that one. I can move this one over though. This is the thing with these games I was talking about. I'll just do this. I'll just do this. And then you get a little bit sidetracked, as I am showing quite well here. But I'll just do this so that you can see what I mean. Is that we're going to then rotate this and place it next to the paper dumpster. What was that? So the paper bale that's been produced. can then just sell it straight away. Good yard management. So I won't do the rest of them on this video to keep it to a decent kind of length, but I will be continuing my playthrough, and I hope you join me for that. There's lots of other content on the channel as I try and build it, some other simulator games and mixed media really. So we've got some virtual reality stuff on there for the Quest 3. We've got some other PS5 games that are on the PlayStation Plus subscription, so I've started to have a look through those. And I also so I'm playing this on my PS5, but I also have a PlayStation Portal, so I'd started to play on there just because again I could capture some footage and gave my thoughts on the PlayStation Portal as well. So if any of that's of interest, then please do give it a thumbs up, because it lets me know that I'm on the right track, and subscriptions really do help more than you'll know. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you soon.